Yes.
Now, I try not to record us just waiting in the waiting room for everyone to come in, but it seems like we've tapered off. I've got my little window off to the side so I can see if anyone jumps in. Let me switch my view of y'all. All right, so let's start rolling through this. And who knows, maybe Adrian will download Instagram after this. All right, so we're going to start off with the basics. We're going to learn the navigation bar on Instagram. So when you're looking at your app, your navigation bar is down at the bottom of the application. For the most part, it's always down there. Sometimes it will move and change, but for the majority, that's always static. It stays right there. So let's break it down. Your home shows you your feed, shows you your followers' posts, and now it's going to show you suggested posts and promotions. Your magnifying glass is how you search content, so think that's almost like a Google on Instagram. So if you want to see what people are putting under Nashville homes, then you could go there and search Nashville homes and you'll see posts that have that hashtag pulled up just through that phrase. You can search for your friends, your co-agents using the magnifying glass. So that's your search option. Your middle button, which I call the create, it's a plus inside a square. That's going to be where if you press that, it's going to take you to a different screen. We'll dive into that here in a second, but that's going to show you how to make your different things. So how to create a post, how to make a story, how to do a reel, how to start an Instagram live. Your movie starter with the play button inside, that's your reels. So I always try to just break that down real simple for people. That's Instagram's version of TikTok. So you touch that and it's just going to be videos that scroll automatic, and it's going to be based off of things you like. They're going to pick videos for you. And then the last thing in the navigation bar is your profile feed. You tap that and it's going to take you to what you post and things that you have put out there. That's also how you can access your settings. Now up here at the top, you have your heart and your message icon. This is where your likes and your messages are. Your heart will show you who's liked your posts, stories. It will also show you who's followed you recently. And then your messenger icon, which is the messenger icon from Facebook, because remember, Instagram and Facebook are owned by the same companies. This is where all of your messages are kept inside the app. So if you press this little plus button down in the middle of Instagram, you're taken to this screen right here on the right. And I'm calling this the create bar. So your create bar has the 4 different categories that we talked about: post, story, reel, and live. And then you can see here your post screen is different from what your story screen looks like. It's different than what the reels screen looks like. It's different than what the live screen looks like. So in your post, you can see it shows you, your photos below here. What also is nice is the navigation bar at the bottom will highlight which screen you're on. So story will become highlighted, reels will become highlighted, live will become highlighted. So from here, today, we're just going to really focus on this post screen. So let's jump into different icons and symbols on the post. So these little expanders or up and down carrots, this is how you're going to toggle your image size. So you can tap it and it'll zoom out and show you a full landscaped version of your photo. Or if you tap it again, it's going to zoom into a 4x4 standard Instagram square. I always say, for real estate purposes, for showing off a listing, photos of, the inside of a home, you want to use this expanded view. You want to show off that full picture. It's going to show the quality of the photo. It's going to show more. and you're paying for that photo. So why would you crop it? Something to keep in mind is regardless of which size orientation you use in an Instagram feed, it's always going to be a square. And you can't select which part of the picture is displayed of the square. It just kind of chooses for you, but always use that expanded view that's going to use most of your photo. And this can also be applied vertically as well. I'd say the second most important icon on your posts screen is your albums icon. When you tap that, it's going to turn blue. And then that will give you the ability to tap multiple photos. As you tap them, their numbers will appear. You can tap up to 10 of these. If you're posting a listing at an open house, post those photos. That's what's Instagram is a visual platform. So the more visual things that are on it for your viewers to look at, the more they're going to be hooked on that post and then want to go down and look at the caption and say, oh, okay, there's an open house on Sunday from 2 to 4. I'm looking, let me send this to my agent as a property I want to go look at. Or if it could be one of your clients that you didn't know was ready to sell their home and they're seeing an open house post that you're posting on Instagram, and they might come pop through or message you and ask you to see the home. So always use as many photos as possible. And I'll dive into more about your order of photos and things like that. And the last thing is your camera button. This, I didn't even really include a slide for it. It's obsolete now. Almost everyone's going to use a photo from the photo gallery. Using the camera app through your Instagram will dull your quality down of your photo. It's not going to use your camera's full potential because it's taking it through an app versus using your camera application. So that's really a photo that they could remove, and I don't know why they haven't yet. So from there, let's make a post. So your first step, we're going to tap that create icon. You're going to want to make sure that your post screen is highlighted and you're looking at the post screen. Now we're going to do a listing post. So we're going to want to tap the album icon and we're going to tap all of our photos of our home that we're doing a post about. When you're selecting these, a few things to keep in mind. It's not permanent when you're selecting them. So if you accidentally tap one and you didn't mean to, you can go back, untap it. Hey, leave that. Sorry, the cat is scratching at the door for who knows what. Its photo album organizer is smart. So if I were to come in here and tap this photo 2 and deselect it, it's going to automatically make photo 3 number 2, make photo 4. So it's just going to fill in the order. I will highly recommend just going into your Instagram and starting a new post, clicking the album and playing around with how it works, selecting multiple photos. Once you do it about once or twice, you kind of learn, okay, it has a certain way it likes to be tapped, but it's not too hard. When you're marketing your listing, you want, as you swipe through your photos, it to feel like you're walking this client through the home with them. So you want to start with the outside photo of the home. If there's a photo of the entryway or they have, a beautiful high double level entryway with a beautiful chandelier, you want to showcase that. Then if the next room in the home is the living room, show that. If it's an open space with the living and dining, kind of show that full view. Then dive into each section, your kitchen, show the primary suite, show the primary suite bathroom. And then you got to keep in mind how many photos you've got selected so far. Then you might be able to add, another bedroom, another bathroom. You might be able to throw the rec room in there. I always like to end my albums with the outside, so the backyard and the back of the house. That way it literally feels like a full walkthrough. Try to avoid using screenshots from the MLS. I've seen lots of people after they upload their photos in MLS, they go and take screenshots and you can see like the little magnifying glass in the corner on the photo. You're paying for these pictures. use the photos you're paying for, get your money's worth, use them everywhere that you can, right? So we're going to select all those photos and then we're going to tap next. And then once our photos are in, you can see, you can scroll and you can see all the photos you selected. A nice feature that I discovered when making this little screen recording is you can take your thumb and click and hold and re-drag these photos around if you want to change the order. I do not recommend you apply a filter to them. It's just going to make it harder on yourself, and it's not going to be true to the listing when someone goes and looks at it. Your photographer should do a great job of making sure the lighting is good, everything looks good, to where you can just take these photos, throw them out there, and run. So once you've checked, I like the order, everything's good, you're going to tap that next up in the right corner. And here's what I call your final screen. This is where you kind of add the content, the information about the post. So I say for all listings, open houses, and I say listings, this is something live on your MLS you're trying to advertise and find a seller for. You want to include a call to action, your listing description, your information, or if you are doing an open house for an agent, you want to include their information for the listing. Your call to actions, I say call to actions, for sale, open house, sold. Those are your call to actions. So for example, this is what I say is a standard perfect caption for a listing post. You're going to notice I don't put your headshot on your photos. They're going to see that right here, right below the photo on the caption when you go and post it. And I personally say don't, and from a marketing standpoint, I even say don't put your phone number on the first one, because like I said, Instagram's visual. You want these people to be zooming in, looking at every detail they can through these photos, and then push them down to your description for all that good information. So I say, here's your call to action. Here's your address. I say include a home breakdown. So, 3 beds, 3 full baths, 1 half. Put your square footage. I don't normally put the price, and I kind of tell agents don't put the price because, again, this is going to encourage someone to reach out to you or go look at this listing in the MLS and potentially schedule a showing. So you're kind of pushing them to go further look at this if they're really interested. Your next thing's your description of your home. And a real easy thing you can do is you can take your description from RealTracs, use that, and then just go back in and take out all your shorthand that you would use and just elaborate more on your description. And then finally include a little signature. I made a fake agent in Michelle's office, so hopefully she's not like, who is Margot? Because I've never met her. But here's a basic little signature that I would put at the bottom of every listing. Include your MLS number for that listing, your name, your office, the address, and your contact numbers. If you want to put your email on there, you can put that. But that is what I'd say could be your template, because then let's say you're doing an open house. You can use the same format, and instead of for sale, you're going to replace it with open house. The date and the time is the first thing to catch people's eyes right off the bat. And then the same thing follows. Your sold is going to be a little more different. I say it's 2 parts. It's a call to action and congratulations. So your call to action sold, and then you can congratulate your clients. This is when I say use those frames if you want to put the big sold across the bottom. Those always look good on the feed, but a listing, something you've got active that you're trying to sell, keep it clean, keep it high quality, make that person want to go with you, make someone want to go look at that house. Does that make sense? And then last is tag. I believe this is last. We're almost there. I believe. Yeah, we're almost there. It's under 10 steps. So think that's how you can also talk yourself off the ledges. It's less than 10 steps. So your last one's tag people. So if you're working, CMG is going to give a deal on this particular house. I'm just throwing that out there is just an instance. You've got another agent's going to do the open house for you on Sunday, but this is your listing. You can tag them so that pops up on their feed. Always tag us, your company, your brokerage, for multiple reasons. I can interact with it from the brokerage side. And also, if someone sees the brokerage account and they're looking in the tagged photos, that listing is going to show up there. So that's what I call discoverability. Add your location. So if it's in Nashville, put Nashville. If it's Brentwood, put Brentwood. When someone goes and searches that location, that's going to pull up that listing. So it's always important to include that. And if you've got your Facebook page and everything linked together, toggle that button on, because then you're posting on both platforms without even thinking about it. Once you get comfortable and you've done a few posts, or you're like, okay, I do posts on Instagram, I know this pretty well, I then invite you to use these advanced settings. And this is new to Instagram, but in this advanced setting, you can now schedule your posts through Instagram. So you can tap advanced setting, schedule, the little wheel comes up like you're used to on an iPhone, and you can select the day and time, and you can schedule the post to be scheduled for you right through Instagram. So that's new. I haven't used this particular feature yet through Instagram. I noticed it today when I was going through and practicing, and I was just clicking and seeing what other little toggle things were in there. But that's, something to do in the future. You don't always have to post everything at once when it happens. So if you've got, as you guys know, I always like to say real estate's kind of like a roller coaster. Sometimes you've got lots of things in the pipeline. Sometimes it's slow and you're waiting. If you take everything when you're busy and make sure you've got content, you could spread that out. You could have, you sold 5 houses in July and you haven't shared them June or July yet. You could go and make your posts now that say sold, and just, congratulate those people, acknowledge them, especially last month if you haven't done it. And you can spread that out to where almost all of August, once a week, you're posting something that says sold, and to an outside viewer, it's making you look more busy and staying busy. What they don't know will not hurt them, right? Then last is hashtags. Like I said, I will do a deep dive into hashtags very soon and talk about what a hashtag is. In a sense, a hashtag's a little catchphrase you're linking to your photo. So if someone searches that, it's going to pull up that photo. So these are the hashtags I use. I'll rotate. This is just the one that I use for this example. I always use the max, because why not? It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt you. What I do say is put it in your comments. You can comment a hashtag. It keeps it out of view from someone that's just looking and reading your post, and it still functions completely the same way. It links to that photo, and that photo then appears in all the searches, because these can become distracting if they're at the bottom of this and someone may not even continue to read. So you can comment, moving to Nashville, hashtag Brentwood, hashtag your local realtor, all in the comments, and they're going to have all their functionality still, but just not be in view. So boom, you created a post in Instagram, and I believe it was 9 steps, so almost under 10, still right out there. So that's just the basics for your post. And then, like I said, this could be applied to an open house, could easily be applied to sold. You can use these steps to walk through, posting a post about yourself, introducing yourself to clients. This is just to help everybody not be afraid of Instagram, know how to post, have something good to reference. And then I've got these. If you're not following us on social media, you can scan these links and they will take you to both the Facebook page and our Instagram page. Interact when you see us post, because that helps, and I will do the same to you. Instagram is a platform that's based off a very fun word called algorithm. Basically broken down is who you interact with and interacts with you is who's going to appear higher up on your feeds. That's why it's important. I'll have a whole little section on this and just engagement, how at night you should go through and just sit there and heart people's things when you've got 30 minutes to an hour, you're sitting on the couch during a commercial. I was gonna say, Michelle, you getting lost? Um,
I'm
engaging
on
with
mute.
your engaging with your followers is the best way for your post to stay up in front of their feed. So that's always my little snippet of advice when it comes to engagement is use your commercial breaks to just open up Instagram and like, comment. Oh, looked like you guys had a fun trip. It's another way to touch your sphere and get back in front of them if you haven't maybe talked to them since they sold their house last year with you. And then lastly, if you're not in our agent only groups, there is the QR code for Agent State of Mind, as well as one for our new listing group where you can advertise strictly to the our Coldwell Banker Barnes family. You know, if you have open houses, you need someone to work it, you've got listing coming up, you're looking for something. So those are great resources there for you. And now, like I said at the beginning, get ready because all the fun stuff's going to come from this. I'd say this is the easiest thing on Instagram. Then as we go on, it kind of levels up and you're taken to the next thing to what, well, we'll have a class on reels and then everyone's going to be like, okay, I could probably make a reel now. I understand what it is, but I'm going to end this year. Most of my focus is going to be on Instagram. There's so much still to touch I want to do. I'll have one focus just on stories and talk about how you can share your posts to your stories and cross promote and things like that. But I hope this helped a couple people feel a little more comfortable posting on Instagram.
Alec, you were showing all the hashtags, and you've got a big list that you use. When you get to that point, commenting on your post that you just did or whatever and putting the hashtags in, do those pop up automatically or do you save those over in a little notes file and copy and paste them? What do you do on that?
That's exactly what I do, Tom. I have a little notes app in my notes app. I have different titles for each thing, and then I have my list of hashtags, and I just go copy and paste them just because it's going to be something you want to use all the time. Okay. And when we do the little breakdown in hashtags, I'll show you guys that, and then I'll show you, the few different changes and variants and hashtags you can use and how you'll use a couple different hashtags for a listing versus something that's already sold. But yes, that's the trick. And I also will even save things like this, these little caption breakdowns in my notes app, because then I can go right in there, copy and paste it, fill it out in here. I can fill it out in the notes app and just keep constantly replacing it. It's very much using that to your advantage, but also it's like I said, that listings phrase is the same thing with the open house. So if you've already done it once for the listing, you can go copy it, swap out for sale with the open house and all that information. Any questions? Anyone need to be woken up?
You're not able to get on there, like actively be on Instagram right now, can you?
I can be.
Okay. If you could pull it up really quick, just for y'all who are on this call, you get the first announcement that we are going to be having a contest company-wide coming up September 1st. It's going to be all about adding to your database, but one of the prompts that you will have on there for the contest is to reach out to different Coldwell Banker agents across the country and to start to follow them and have them follow you back, reach out to them on social media. So all that being said, you had mentioned the search option right at the very start. Yep. And how that was pretty much like Google within Instagram. So if I want to find Coldwell Banker agents in California, can I do that on Instagram?
Yep. So something cool you can do is literally, even if you can just figure out the basics of what, like, look, I didn't even type anything besides Coldwell Banker in, and here's Coldwell Banker Realty, California. So you can just go in there, type Coldwell Banker and start looking at different, usernames, and you'll eventually find it. And then what I would say is look for, when it comes to that, if you're, go to their followers, and a lot of time you're going to see, we all see our handles. So as you scroll through here, Realtor Gus, let's see where he's out of. You see, he doesn't have it, but at least then you've got a name. You can go and see if he's got any posts. Is he Coldwell Banker? He might not be Coldwell Banker, but that's how I would dive into that,
Did
Another
you even type in Coldwell Banker agent California? Is it something that generic?
can be, it's all going to be dependent on hashtags.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So if someone's used
Yep.
that, so like she's got that in her, all in her bio. So that's how it all pulled up, and it pulled it up here. So here's one. Here's Coldwell Banker agents that has a hashtag that's got 1,700 of those tagged. Here's one that shows you. And see, this is why I say tagging is important, because if CB Riverside had tagged some of these agents, then we could have found them a little quicker. But that's how I would dive it. If it were me, I'd dive into it this way, and then I'd almost come, see, no one really tags their photos there.
Go back to that top agent slide that you were on. You said if they had tagged them, and they actually did. See up there?
Oh yeah, they've got it all over here.
Yeah.
And this is a very poor way of doing that, because you saw I went straight here to see if it was physically tagged, because that's how it should be. There should be a little person, but here's Debbie. She's Coldwell Banker. And
I'm sorry if I missed this. Shouldn't agents tag all agents, not just Coldwell Banker agents?
Well, yeah, but I can't teach these people what to do.
I meant for our agents.
Well, yeah, not necessarily, no. You don't want to tag someone who's not involved with your listing on your listing. That doesn't make any sense.
That's why I'm not on Instagram.
But that's how, if it were me, I would look for brokerages. Does it have to be, is it just in California, Michelle?
No, it can be anywhere.
See, I would find, here's one where they welcome people. That's an easy, we welcome our agents. This is an easy way to find someone. They've got her tagged, so boom, can go straight to her. I would look for things like that. Look for their top agent shout outs if they do that. Look for award recognitions. But I would say start brokerages and then move on. See, it's weird. No one's tagging those. See, if you go to ours, we've got, and a lot of y'all are good at tagging. Well, maybe it's just a desktop feature, because I know that's not true. I prefer Instagram on a phone. It works better, if you ask me.
Yeah, it does.
But that's how I would do that little contest and find more agents across the country and grow your Coldwell Banker network.
Yeah, see if you can type in Ashley Browning, I think is her name. She's in South Carolina. And I can't see your screen very well, but she's with Coldwell Banker Bain.
It's probably not the first one. The first one's in a bikini.
That's probably not her.
Then it has me terrified to click any of the other ones.
Okay. Well, never mind. My point to that was going to be she's somebody that spoke at Gen Blue last year, so I started following her right away. And she's young and she's very active, but she followed me back right away, and we will sometimes comment on each other's posts, and it's been a good way to reference. And it's amazing how many Coldwell Banker agents that you start to follow that other people will find you and then start to follow you as well. So it's pretty cool how it works.
It's a trickle effect. I was trying to think of the right word.
Yep.
But yes, that's how that search feature will work. So even if you search Nashville TN, it's going to pull anything that's tagged Nashville TN, that has Nashville TN in the username, that has Nashville TN in the bio, that has that set as their location. So that's how you will get, oh, it doesn't want to let me see, and it quit scrolling. There's so many more, but then you can see you pull it up and it's going to pull up everything that has hashtags underneath Nashville TN homes. So that is your basic of Instagram, of just doing a basic post.
Awesome. I'm going to do a post right now.
You know how to, and then this will be up on the Level Up app to reference in case you want to go use it as you click through, and then get ready for the fun stuff.
Thanks, Alec.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Alec.
Thanks, everybody. Y'all have a good week.
You too.
You too.